Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's your number one Chief Rocker. I'm here with Free. He here. He here. He here. We taking over.
Will his pay be docked? Will his pay be docked? Or will he be getting, will I get double pay tonight? But I got to be careful because I have not rocked by myself. Free Keith been holding it down like a mother. So salute to the homie Free Keith. He allowed us to push this button without him, or Freezer made to push the button. Well, you may or may not know what the conversation is in the back screen, but
you may or may not know. But what you do know is that we are prepared.
ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we want to thank you for being in attendance. If you don't know, now you know. This is Knicks Freestyle. This is the most cutting edge, innovative, thoughtful bar show, but we straight off the top of the dome. And just in case you want you to know, where's my pad? Just so you know, there's no pre-writtens. We don't do. We in the studio like Biggie and Jay-Z back in the day. We ain't write nothing. Freezy drops the beat, and me and Free Keep just spit on it. We thank you for being here. We appreciate you. We in the building. We passionate. We thoughtful, and we here. That's most important. We didn't meet you there. We beat you there. Hello.
Hello.
Bim.
And there we are. There we are. Man, we have quite a lot of stuff to talk about, man. May have to offer some apologies to some people because the beginning was kind of wild.
I have an apology to issue.
Right.
So I was concerned that we didn't fire Tibbs for Mike Brown. I mean, we interviewed Dawn Staley, and salute to the sister. Salute to her. She's been basketball personified since she picked up a ball in the 70s and professed it in the 80s and watched her profession mature through the 90s, right? Sister is legitimate. But this is where we got. There's no way we fired Tibbs for Dawn Staley. And I think that's what she even said. So we didn't fire Tibbs for Mike Brown. And I think that is the biggest concern that I have. And when I saw it looking like he didn't know what he was doing with the rotation, he was putting guys out there 3 and 4 minutes a pop. And Freezy taught us that years ago. You got to let a guy percolate. How are you supposed to get in the game for 3 minutes and show you what he got? He'd be better off getting no minutes than 3 minutes a stretch. And he was testing things and playing with it. And what I saw last night, the motivation I saw last night, I do think Towns was injured. So Free Keith, I'm gonna be giving Towns some props tonight because last night he didn't back down. He had a Sprite commercial for a second. He pushed my man off and had a Sprite. So Keith would have been talking about that, but Towns is definitely playing more aggressively. It's gonna be hard for him to have with the attention he's getting, but he's opened up the floor for everybody else. And I'm going to shut up because I want you to lead this conversation before I just get scatterbrains. But OG Anunoby is definitely the early running pre-MVP of the team. Go ahead.
Okay, so the thing, what I learned from these first 8 games is Mike Brown is looking for difference makers. Not people that's going to hold it down, right? Not people that are going to be, at the standard, because it's easier to find people at the standard than it is to find difference makers, right? And so if you have difference makers on your roster, right, and you don't use them, are you really using the full potential of your roster? And it's one of the things that we saw last year, that if you have a difference maker, will you use them? Previous years, it was more about trusting the known versus the unknown, right? That's what Tom Thibodeau did. He trusted the known versus the unknown. And he even said it in press conferences, like, why would you play a veteran that's been in the league a long time versus a young guy on your bench? And he was like, these veterans have been around the league. They're in the league still for a reason. They know how to do this stuff. When it comes to the young guys, they hadn't done it long enough for you to trust them in crucial situations, right? Duly noted. That's a philosophy. That's just the way that person thinks, right? Mike Brown is different, and you can tell because Mike Brown, first of all, when he got here, he played a lot of people and didn't institute anything. He didn't run anything special, anything specific, because he wanted to see if a difference maker would arise out of this group. And then once he finds out who the difference makers are and what they can do, he can build the system around the skill that is productive, which makes sense in my mind. Right? Before you tell somebody what to do, see what they can do. And then once you understand what they can do, then you support their abilities. And I know it's only 8 games. Tory B in a place to be was good. Raphael, my guy, Raphael, day one was good. Greg Hamilton in the building, Sherwin was good. So Intellect, I want to ask you this. And it's not just because I don't know, and maybe I just need like a cosign or a difference of opinion, or maybe someone else's perspective. How comfortable are you with Mike Brown allowing these guys to figure out a lot of this stuff on their own and build up and support them slowly as they discover certain things?
So initially, the first 2 games or the first 4 games after we had those 2 bad losses, I wasn't good with it. But then I started to say, okay, you're being unreasonable. So I'm very good with it because last year we got too easy to figure out.
Right.
We were a one-trick pony.
Right.
We're gonna make you stop the ball, Brunson ball, and once you trap the ball out of Brunson's hands, then guys were going to try to be second options. Well,
Right.
now we let Michael bring it up more. We let Clarkson bring it up more, and heck, OG get it and get the going. He can bring it up. Josh can bring it up, and Jalen's now learning to come off the ball. And we've been saying this for 2 years now. Jalen, we're not saying he's Steph Curry, but we are saying things happen when the ball is in his hand. So,
Yeah.
so once BG, my guy, Dre, what's goody? So when Brunson comes off the ball and those guys press fast, it's like, so if you don't stop the ball to the hole, Michael's going to get a layup. Clarkson's going to get a layup. Hart's going to get a layup. Whoever, OG is going to get a layup. If you don't stop that ball, then layup city, Brunson's rested. Now, if the offense does go 10 to 12 seconds, Brunson can come off some stuff, get the ball, now be a second creator. And you're now, as a defensive team, your back is constantly against the wall. You don't get a sigh of relief when you force the ball out of the lead ball handler's hands. When Brunson would, no matter where he was on the court on a defensive rebound, he ran to the ball. Now he runs up court, creates pressure, and everything now is more of an amoeba. It's more of a free flowing, and then the pace is going fast. We were concerned about whether Mitch and the big guys and Cat could keep up. Well, now Cat is moving into his 3-pointer. You better not give him 10 of those free open 3-pointers at the top of the key in rhythm. He gonna pause, do it to you. And so I am more comfortable. I do see a difference, and I see guys happy with it. I was concerned whether everybody would be happy. I see the core guys happy. They're believing in the system. Obviously, we know that when the relationship and the team players and the team goes, and it might only be 2 players. Look at John Morant. Who would ever thought John Morant is going to get traded? John Morant's going to get traded simply because of the relationship between the coach and star player. And so while I don't think it was Brunson, I believe you give up 5 picks for Macau. He's going to give you a discount to re-sign. He's going to have some say in who the coach is. So, knowing that Tibbs had to go, knowing his time was up, and seeing what Mike Brown is bringing, then Freezy, long answer short, yeah, I'm comfortable and allowing to see what he got. So then at least he's putting it all out there early, and we can make a solid assessment of it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So that's what I was thinking. I was thinking like Mike Brown legit at first was playing like all these guys and just letting them figure out what it is that they can do. At the same time, the coaching staff is looking at these guys like, can Tyler Kolek, is Tyler Kolek really confident shooting that three? Is Tyler Kolek a difference maker as the third point guard? Because if he's not, then maybe you can give those Tyler Kolek minutes to Josh and Mitch. And I'm not saying that like that. What I'm saying is instead of Josh playing 18 minutes, you're giving him an extra 7 minutes. Now he's playing 25 minutes, and you're giving Mitch those extra 7 minutes that Kolek would have played in those 15 minutes. And now Mitch is playing 19 minutes, right? Is what I'm saying.
He actually played 16 last night, but that's okay. Close enough, right? Close enough.
Right. Well, it was a blowout too. You know what I'm saying? So it's what just something to keep an eye on. Like, I think we thought about maybe running a deeper rotation, and Mike Brown is looking like, I don't have enough difference makers to run an 11-man rotation. I only have enough difference makers to run 9.5, and then one of them was in a shooting slump, and he's breaking out of his shooting slump, and the other one is a beat slow because of conditioning, right? And so when you look at it, you're like, oh, okay, the Knicks fans, everybody wanted more pace, faster pace, more players playing. But after these first 13 games, and I'm counting the preseason, just as games that we actually saw Knicks in Knicks jerseys, right? After these first 13 games, 5 of them fake, 8 of them real, you kind of have a sense of the difference maker, so to speak, right? And if that's the case, does Mike Brown have enough difference makers have as many difference makers as he thought? And are they enough to be who we thought they were going to be coming into the season?
No, and Freezy, I could only supplement what you just said, never supplant it. And that is absolutely it. And so Kolek finds himself in the G League. I was worried whether, I think he knew what Clarkson had. So he said, listen, Clarkson, chill. We are built for the championship. And that's why I caution guys on the 60 game, that we were winning 60 games, because a team that wins 60 games, the first quarter, they're playing probably 60 to 70% ball. And I said, we probably are only going to play about 50 to 55% ball the first 25 to 30 games, because he's going to tinkle. The background looks fire, because he's going to tinkle. So, and Kolek is found himself out the rotation. Salute to Deuce, because we gave Deuce bars. Deuce is not afraid. In fact, he's less afraid under Mike Brown than he was under, we thought maybe if he takes shots too quick, he knew he'd get pulled and Brunson would come back to play 40 minutes a game. Deuce knows how many minutes he's getting. And if it's his night, then we're going to win with ease. But I am just, right now, my second favorite player on the Knicks, because how could we all not love Brunson? First is OG Anunoby, and Mike Brown has really unlocked this guy. If you put a skinny guy on OG, Brown is looking at him. OG, you take it all the way to the hole and you dunk on him. You're an 80% free throw shooter. So OG is going to be top 5 in the league at getting to the line. And maybe I'm being exaggerating a little bit, but he is going to get to the line at a high rate, because he's going to go so hard, it's going to make you foul and pause. And, that you see things happening. And what we look for, Freezy, is sustainability. I think Mike Brown is looking for a program that's sustainable for the long haul. And then we will be pressing our will. Last night, we pressed our will. Julius came out cooking. We know Julius and Dante. Dante came out, and I was like, ooh, it's going to be a bloodbath. Look at that. We were down 10 early. And next thing you know, to going from down 10 to winning by 20. And most important, in the blowout, the high-minute guys were on the bench. And that's why you saw them at 33 minutes last night, still got their stats, still got their shots. And now we're saying, oh, this is when it looks like. This is how you're supposed to drive the Cadillac. We know when we first got the Cadillac, we was driving it like this. We was saving. We was making sure, oh, no, I'm going to stay in this lane right here. Mike Brown is back driving the Cadillac like this. And now we understand that's how it's supposed to be driven, like an OG.
Right. And so, I agree. And so just to read the super chat real quick, Hakeem the Dream, thank you for your generous contribution. We appreciate everyone that supports the channel. If you're new here, if you're watching and can't comment, hey, subscribe to the channel. Want to thank everyone for helping. I still can't believe it, to be honest. I can't believe it, right? So thank you, everybody, for helping us get to 30,000 subscribers. That's crazy. 30,000. Yo, we need more people commenting, though. Like, we want y'all to comment, but if there's a language barrier or something, y'all watching us from around the world, if there's like a thing or whatever, and y'all just want to chill out and listen to Simply the Intellect, Chop It Up, or your main man, Chop It Up, I feel you. Hakeem the Dream, thank you for that generous contribution. He says Brunson and Cat are two of the worst defenders in the NBA. Wingstop covers up their liabilities. Agreed.
And I would like to do a little something different, especially, Keith, y'all can't, Keith, once his mind get going, once that brilliant mind of his get going. But I definitely this year want to pay more attention to when you put your comments in color to let you know they matter this year. So briefly to that, I'm going to say Hakeem the Dream, thank you. And number two, I'm going to say last year it mattered. When we had slower pace, each possession matters. Now that we're playing faster and more efficient offensively, and then coming back and giving our best attempt and making them at least take tough shots, that we will be. That is the system that's going to be able to protect Brunson and Cat down the stretch. I just don't think that it's going to be that serious in the fourth quarter. If we get to a one position game, yeah, it's that serious. And Cat, at times we'll find out that he has to lead. He has to play alongside Mitch for that rim protection. But as long as he does, he'll get more freedom, because he definitely gets more freedom offensively with Mitch out of the game than Mitch in the game, because Mitch has got to be around the bucket somewhere. When that lane is clear and Cat see it, he's going for it now. And it's clear that he was hurt, because you can see him percolating a little more. So, but it is going to take a healthy Cat to keep pressing the system that we're running, because there's no backup to him. Yabusele right now, and I'm going to jump around a little bit just to throw something out there. My boy Yabu, and I'm calling him Yabu. That's, we in New York. We give him nicknames. Yabusele is Yabu to me. Yabu to me right now, while he can hit the three, he's got to establish himself more in the paint. And he's got to be getting more offensive rebounds. And so hopefully he'll learn from Mitch, because there's some plays that Mitch makes, man, and he will get, and he immediately kicks out. And y'all want him, oh, Mitch should be shooting. But when he's kicking out to guys for open threes, and we shooting at the percentage we shooting, we getting an extra possession and an open three-point shot. I ain't mad at Mitch, man. I ain't mad at Mitch. And Mitch accepting this, I believe, accepting it, does he have a choice? So I should be careful when I say accept it, because what player wants to accept taking more minutes? But I totally am under the impression that that Mitch has accepted he's going to be in New York long term. There's a dollar amount that he's going to be resigned for. And so I don't think he'll be looking for a major bag this offseason. I think he's accepted where we are. He's trusted the franchise, although he sends out a lot of cryptic messages, and he's going to be a Knick for a long time. And this is the type of minutes and the type of way he's going to be utilized the rest of his career.
Right. One of the things though I was going to mention, I knew that the since it's Knicks Freestyle, I knew the Mitch Robinson thing was going to come up. We can't help it here with Mitch, right? But one of the things I was going to mention about Mike Brown finding playmakers is one of the things you noticed is out of the gate, it wasn't OG Anunoby that dominated on the wing. It was Mikal Bridges that dominated. Y'all remember when Mikal Bridges was dominating? It seems like it's so long ago, right? But it's only been a week since Mikal Bridges was the better player than OG Anunoby, right? And this week, it's OG Anunoby being dominant. Now, what I personally think that is teams legit are in that fitted sheet scenario, right? That I mentioned to GI and others when we have conversation. It's like when you overcompensate, when you're making up your bed, you putting a fitted sheet on and you compensate for one corner, and then the other corner pop off and is uncovered. That's what teams are going to face all year against the Knicks, right? Because you know there's only so much you can do against Brunson and Cat offensively. Your best bet is to attack them defensively, right? When you're on offense and have them play defense, that's the only way you're gonna be able to stop them, right? Now the thing is with OG Anunoby and those corner threes and cutting to the basket, one of the things about that is you're going to be at a place where you're going to have to pick your poison, so to speak. The floor is balanced now where it's not just going to be dribble, pick and roll from the short side of the court, hoping that your primary ball handler can weave through traffic and get into the Brunson burner. Right? I think those days are gone now. Will it happen? Yes. Will it happen as frequently? No. I do believe that OG Anunoby's breakout, so to speak, is directly correlated to Mikal Bridges' breakout last week. Now, I do think it'll balance itself out, but I think what we're seeing is the beginning of OG and Bridges contributing more offensively, and I mean in diversified scoring, not just corner threes. I'm talking about a diversification of scoring, which balances the floor, takes pressure off Brunson to the fact where guys like Brunson and Cat and Bridges and OG will start to get more open looks. I'm not going to say easier baskets, but more open looks.
And with the way the offense is flowing, we making defenses turn their back to the basket. And they're constantly moving. We got the feet moving on defense. And when you do that, somebody's going to jump out and anticipate what the next move is going to be, and somebody's going to be dashing back door on you. And they see that rim. Nobody's afraid to go to the rim on this team. We're all rim bouncing. We all jump shooting, and a lot of similar skill sets using the appropriate amount of minutes. You know, I'm absolutely loving what Clarkson is bringing to the table. And it's something about coming to the New York Knicks. Nobody comes out except for Brunson. Nobody comes out and I got to give it to Randall. God, you know, you can't be on the Knicks Freestyle show and not think you're going to not hear Knicks and Randall. You know, this is free. This is Free Keith's brainchild, and we know those are two of his favorite players in the world.
Right.
But, you know, I give it to Randall. He came in immediately. But a lot of those other fringe players who were relying on with 20, 25 minutes off the bench.
Free Keith probably somewhere putting on his Mitchell Robinson City Edition jersey.
Yeah, let's go, bro. And so we just hope that, you know, at this point we're looking for what's sustainable. And I see Brown patiently, you know, he's in. I'm specifically watching him because Tibbs had a specific doggedness about him when he's on the bench, and you know, Brown is a little more calm, but I see the wheels spinning. He's in tune with the game. This moment is not too big for him. You know, right now I would say good hire. Was it our number one choice? No, but you know, listen. Freezy, I know you love Mocha, but at times let me shut up before I get in trouble. Let me shut up.
She remind me of Pam from that sitcom. I don't know if y'all ever seen Pam on the sitcom, right? she darker than Pam, but she got a light skinned friend that look like Gina, right? So she got a light skinned friend that and they be on the phone all the time. It looked like when they together, they look like Pam and Gina, basically. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, my thing is though, with where we are, I think this is the tip of the proverbial iceberg, right? Like we're the tip of the iceberg is what you're seeing is the very beginning of OG Anunoby developing his confidence, becoming more of the guy we thought he was going to be about 3 or 4 years ago, right? And a more of a free flowing offense. I think it fits his athletic profile, right? Somebody that's explosive, quick twitch, dogged. Somebody, I think Mike Brown's defense and offense fits the skill set of OG Anunoby. And here's why I say that. You can watch OG Anunoby miss 2 or 3 shots in a row, and then Mikal Bridges will come down and turn his guy. There's a deflection. Next thing you know, OG Anunoby is headed the other way with a wide open dunk at the rim. And for scorers, all you want to do is get 1 or 2 shots in a row to get your offense going, right? And so while it seems like OG Anunoby became Michael Jordan over the summer, nah, it's more of the past few years with OG. If he got into a shooting slump or whatever, and the possessions were so monitored that OG would rarely get a great shot to get his offense going, right? It's like you keep kicking it out. You're kicking it out to the cold shooter. And this, under this regime, you get OG and Bridges. If they miss 2 or 3 shots in a row, every once in a while, you'll see a deflection and they get out in the open floor, and your athletic wings can actually be athletic wings, right? Athletic wings can be athletic wings, right? And so while that sounds simple on the surface, you didn't see that last year or the year before last. And now that you're watching it, you're thinking like, hey, man, it seems like all these parts are coming together well. Or at least that's what it seems like to me.
Yeah, I mean that that's why I love this show, because it's just so easy to transition and bounce off one another, especially when it's you and I. You know, we've been doing this since Frank Ntilikina, since we drafted Frank Ntilikina. How can we have another moment where we're together and we don't talk about Frank Ntilikina? But salute to him. He must be in France somewhere wearing fancy clothes. But
yeah, his sweaters be pinker than mine, bro. Right here, Frank be having that super pink sweater on, bro. Frank, you ain't fly. You ain't fly, Frank.
At this point, we got to keep asking for help. But and I got about 10 to 15 more minutes to rock. You sent me something asking me about where we stood with the luxury tax. This is Dolan's money. We don't have them small market problems. We're not Minnesota. We better go ahead and dump Cat and sucker and re-sign or keep under contract. Re-sign and keep under contract DiVincenzo and Randall for less than what we were paying for one Cat, so we can stay with that. That's not who we are. Dolan will write the checks. So when I see luxury tax in New York, that doesn't bother me. The aprons are a concern because it's going to dictate the type of moves you can make. To date, man, they've been a wizard. The only thing that they missed is hindsight. As much as I know Bridges and Hart and Markel want to be together, and Brunson, Markel, and Hart want to be together, if they can foresee that they would have been able to run the house to get Giannis, They wait a year to make that move. Let you be frustrated in the off season. Maybe make it to the second round. Maybe make it to the and they would have spun the wheels this summer. But I think they're okay not doing that. And so hindsight of that, I trust that that Rose is one of the best executives in the league. And I trust that him and his capologist will figure things out if something needs to be moved. Moves need to be made. The only move that will need to be made, if God forbid we lost Cat for a stretch of time before the All-Star break, and Mitch still has to have no more than 25 minutes, 30 minutes a game, we would go have to fill a big body because Yabu right now is just he might be a tad bit out of shape. And because he just doesn't seem to be moving well on the court. But there's not a lot of big men out there. And, so that is my only concern is that our front line, it doesn't have the depth that our guards got. We can lose a guard tomorrow, and the other guys are going to go crazy about it because their minutes are going to increase. With you talk about Brunson. I'm going to keep Hart, Cal, and OG on the wings. Talk about Brunson. Talk about Brunson. Talk about Clarkson. Talk about Shamit. Talk about Deuce. That's 4 guys eating up a lot of minutes. And I'm not concerned because those 4 guys really play with all the other Hart and OG and Cal and Boyer's OG and Cal together as a unit growing. And Cal is still in the same role. I saw him a lot on Conley last night, Michael Conley, and I remember that was one of the things he complained about. But maybe not playing 40 minutes a game versus 33 minutes a game. Yeah. He's not uncomfortable doing it. He don't want to be chasing guys for 40 minutes a night. So we shall see. I think it was hurting his offense. But once they agreed to that contract, hopefully he could be a little less concerned about where he fits with the organization because his payday is here.
Right. What I would say too, just to add, is I think Mike Brown gave everybody an ample opportunity to at least show what they can do in the NBA. And I do understand that the Knicks are in a situation where it's not going to be easy for them to make the move at the trade deadline, right, that people want them to make because of where the salaries are. And so what I do think, if I could put the two together, I think the Knicks wanted to see what they had. That way they can see what they need to move. And basically, I think Leon Rose is going to do the nibble technique, right? Like make the small move to make the bigger move to the bigger move till they get to the point where they can make the move that they want to make, right? By getting a good long look at what you have and understanding their value around the league, you can move some of these pieces in order to go get the guy you want. Now, in my mind, I would love to see this entire unit stay together, right? But what I would love to see more than that is an NBA championship, right? So you're in that situation. You're in a situation where you know that everyone that's here may not make it past the trade deadline. And I think that's something for us to be cognizant of. Not the fact, I don't think they're going to make a major move. Like we can forget about Giannis. He's not coming. Giannis is not going to be a Knick, right? But what I could see is that all the stuff that y'all talk about in the chat, like a backup 5, a point guard, and those type, I can see the Knicks doing consolidation moves with bench pieces and draft picks and assets in order to go get those pieces that y'all want while maintaining the core, while keeping Mitch, keeping Josh, keeping Deuce, keeping Cat, keeping OG, keeping Bridges, keeping Brunson, keeping your top 7 guys, and then maybe one of those veterans, and which would be 8, and then maybe consolidating those guys at the back end of the rotation in order to have a point guard so Jalen Brunson can play off ball more and be Jalen Iverson, and going to get in the center so that when Mitch takes his time off, you won't see Cat and Yabusele. You'll see Cat and a center, right? And but how you get there, you just can't get there overnight. You just have to move around some cash, and that's the part that Leon Rose and his front office is great at, moving around cash and assets in order to make the move that they really want to make. And so I have my eye on that. You know what I'm saying? So I have an eye on that, but I'm not really concerned. The main thing I'm concerned with is, can I tell you, hey, G.I., can I tell you my joke? Before we get out of here, can I tell you my joke?
Oh, you have to grab the microphone like improv.
I got to grab the mic. I got to grab the mic to tell you this joke. Right. So, okay. All right. So somebody broke in my car, right? Yeah, somebody broke in my car. So I wanted to spray up the entire East Coast. You know me, right? Everybody. Somebody broke in my car, bro. And I'm like, look, man, like the glass broke, all this stuff. And clearly they don't know who I am, right? Clearly they don't know like who I am because they broke in my car, right? You know what I'm saying? So go out there and look. I'm like, I bet you they took some. I bet you they probably took. Yo, I got these Adidas golf shoes. Everybody, they cost like, I think they cost like 210.
In North, we call them Adidas, but go ahead, please.
Yeah. So I got some of those, right? And it's not the fact of what they cost. It's just that they're hard to find in my size, right? You know what I'm saying? It's not like they're just hard to get. And you know what I'm saying? You out there playing, you got your fresh, crispy, baby powder blue polo on, and you got your powder blue Adidas golf shoes on. You know what I'm saying? So I go in there, I'm looking, and I'm like, hey, they didn't take the golf clubs, all the golf shoes. They ain't even steal the car. I'm like, yo, y'all just broke my window for nothing. I'm like, yo, why is somebody breaking in my whip? So I go in there, I'm about to call a man, all this stuff, and I look on the dashboard, and a motherfucker left me some Brooklyn Nets tickets on my dashboard. You gonna break in my car and put Brooklyn Nets tickets on my? Y'all will get. Listen, y'all hate Brooklyn that bad. Y'all want to give away Brooklyn tickets that bad when you break in somebody's car and put Brooklyn Nets tickets on somebody's dashboard. Y'all should be ashamed of y'all damn self. Brooklyn, are y'all that trash? Brooklyn, are y'all that trash? Y'all giving away tickets like that? Y'all breaking in people's cars and putting tickets in people's car? Brooklyn, y'all should be ashamed of y'all damn self.
Oh, and on that note, we thank you. We thank you. We thank you for your loyalty to our platform. Number one, Chief Rocker. Now we're getting we're getting Chat GBT notes that now takes you an hour to read. Whoever created
Gotta clean up the English, bro.
Whoever created that god awful app should be ashamed of themselves.
You gotta format it, baby.
My staff was like, "Did you use Chat GBT?" I said, "What? Don't you curse at me?"
You gotta clean up your format, bro.
I'm just thankful that you found it not robbery to spend some time with us tonight. We weren't here for a long time, but we were definitely here for a good time. We have a time limit to what we can rock out when Keith is not here, or he'll feel some type of way. So, we continue to stroke his ego. Pause.
Rich homie Keith. Rich homie Keith feeling some type of way.
Yeah, he will pull the plug on the whole network. You know your boy let you use his car, right? Right. He ain't around. You can't be taking the top off, and you can't be putting a bunch of people in there. When he let you use his car when he's not around, you got to make sure you do.
Free
the right
Keith gonna have us in a meeting on a Friday afternoon.
Yeah,
Free Keith gonna call a Friday 4:00 meeting. Like, hey guys, it's only gonna be 2.5 hours. Hell no, it ain't.
you gotta bring his whip back in the same way. Make sure the tank is full. Don't be bringing it back on E where he gotta push it to the gas station to gas up. So I am just thankful the season is off. There's not too much to complain about. What do we want those 2 wins back? Yeah, we want those 2 wins back. But you know what? We're being recognized. And the amount of every week I look up, and they talk about the highlight game of the week. You don't see 5 NBA games, 4 NBA games where the Knicks are not prime time and 2. They don't want to see the Cavs. They know the Cavs are there. They're recognizing them. The Knicks are selling tickets. The Knicks are saving the NBA. And we just ask that Brown take care of this asset, continue to rock that caddy the way he's rocking it. We need Yabusele to come on and give us that comfort that we don't need to do nothing crazy if we get injured. Give us some good minutes. Continue to percolate. I had to throw a Clyde. I'd be remiss if I didn't throw a Clyde Frazier percolate statement in there. And after that, we have one more demand. Please keep tuning in on Wednesdays. Our time may fluctuate, but please keep looking. Like, share, subscribe. Turn that notification bell on, and please keep checking out the Knicks Freestyle. Who the curator is Free Keith, the chief rocker is Uncle Freezy, and me Ghetto Miller. They let me come along for the ride. They kind of like me a little bit. I keep getting renewed contracts, even though my time is not what it used to be. I'm actually in the Midwest now, so I'm an hour behind. So that means I gotta hurry up and get out of work. I don't get the time to decompress. But I was off today. But although while I might be in the Midwest and it's starting to get really cold outside, my heart,
orange and blue.
Is in New York City, orange and blue sides. Freezy, close us out. I'm gonna run and meet my girlfriend and her family, and you know what that's like, meeting the girlfriend's family. I gotta be on the best of my best.
Yeah,
I love y'all. Chuck B, I see you down there. Pretty soon. You ain't come around last year for that Eastern Conference Final run. You ain't predict none of that. So keep being Debbie Downer, and we're gonna keep proving you wrong to the people. I love you.
Salute to my guy, man. Day one, Chuck B, man, who always been a supporter, man. That's my guy. Hakeem the Dream, thank you for the generous contribution. Hakeem the Dream says OG is the best player on the squad, and it's showing. Yeah, man. Yeah. So thank y'all for coming through, rocking. We had to do something, man. The past couple of nights, I had been missing it because I wanted to jump on, but I didn't want to host because I'm still got that stuff going on, man. Still trying to fight this cold off. And so, but we definitely rock it tonight, man. It'll be me and a few others. I'm gonna let them host, and I'm just gonna be OG and Anobi for the night. I'm gonna let them be Brunson and Cat, and I'm just gonna come through and be on the panel and support and let them do their thing. Salute to all my people in the chat, man. I really do love and appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for coming through and hanging out, man, talking that Knicks stuff. You know what I'm saying? Y'all make this thing so easy for everybody watching. Again, for all of y'all watching and hadn't figured out if you want to become a member, or if you hadn't figured out if you want to subscribe. If you're part of Replay Gang, man, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Come back, watch us tonight at 11 p.m. Got a lot of topics to talk about. We're going to holler at y'all later. Peace, everybody.